Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Woman to Woman. First, let me give a shout out to Old Man Logan of Boulevard Ave, Know Me Media Group. You can catch Old Man Logan on Know Me Media Group and Boulevard Ave every week on Logic Radio. He is so graciously being our producer. Welcome to Woman to Woman. First of all, I want to thank you for tuning in to our show. I will be your host. My name is Val Devereaux. I will be accompanied by my co-host, Shall Be Truth. Yep. And Woman to Woman is a show for black women by black women. And our goal and our purpose is to help black women, real life black women, with their relationship with a black man on a day-to-day basis. We're not talking about reality show stuff. We're not talking about Love and Hip Hop, the Kardashians. We're talking about everyday, day-to-day problems we as black women face when we're trying to have a successful, productive relationship with a black man. Now I'll let my co-host introduce herself to you guys.
Hello out there, males and females. I am Shall Be True. I'm a loving sister of 3 brothers. I'm 32 years old. I am from Chicago. I'm a loving friend of Val. That's my intro for the moment.
We decided to create this show to address the problems that we as black women face as we strive to have a happy, healthy, and positive relationship with a black man. Over the past 10 years that we've been friends, we have observed a continuous decline in the relationship of black couples in our community. The problems that we face are exclusive to our community. We're not trying to necessarily exclude anybody, but we're concerned about our people. We want to help our sisters who strive to have a good, positive production relationship with a black man. My personal opinion is that it takes a lot to deal with a black man, because a black man, his life is different than any other man in this society. Being black in the first place, he's born with one strike against him. So as his woman, our job is then twofold, because we not only have to be his support system, but sometimes we have to be a bit of a mother figure. So it's our goal in this show to provide you with some positive input. We want you to have healthy feeds so that, you know, if there's anything that you might be encountering and we have experienced it, we want to be able to give you a platform that can relate to you, and we can offer you some positive solutions to your problem.
Yes, at this age, I have, dealt with the male species, I like to call them, and I have been successful at some points, but then not, because a relationship can be consuming. So I have the insight of a woman who is now focusing on self, and that's where I will be coming from as we speak to enlighten women and actually support them on their personal situations or what they may deal with. Me and Val have a relationship that is very strong, and most of the time we have used situations to learn and move forward, and that's what you do have to do in the event that your relationship isn't successful. So we will be speaking on both sides of the fence.
Now, my co-host and I, we are targeting women from the age group Shall Be True. She's coming from the perspective of women between their 20s and 30s, and I'll be coming from the perspective of women in their 40s to their 50s. But I have noticed a pattern that all of the problems that we encounter as black women, they are the same no matter what the age group is. So we want to try to provide you with some support. We want to provide you with some solutions, some ideas, things you can do to make life easier for you and your male counterpart. I'm not going to even lie to you. Loving a black man is truly a task. but
task.
it can definitely be done, because after all, they are our king and we are our queen, and behind every great king there was a phenomenal queen.
Absolutely. This is why I will continue in my quest to find my king or have a king to relate to. What we don't want to do, and one of the topics we will be discussing today, is self-love. You do not want to lose self-love for yourself. When you do, that's when it's time to get back to yourself, and that's something that we all fear, which causes danger in our relationships, because you're always fighting about who didn't do what for the team. How can you be part of a team if you do not perfect self? So
Yes, and to expand upon that, what my co-host said, that is very important. I agree with her 100%. Self-love is the most important aspect of having a positive relationship. If you don't know how to love yourself, how can you love somebody else? You first have to be happy with who you are in order to bring something positive to the table for another person. If you have problems with yourself and then you encounter a man who's never experienced love, he's never told anyone how fabulous he was or how phenomenal of a guy he was, how can you expect a positive outcome? So our goal in our show is to enlighten you and give you some insight, on how you can go about being what you need to be and what you are meant to be to your black man. Now, black men, don't get it twisted. I'm not letting you off the hook. By no means. You have to be willing to bring to the table everything that your counterpart is bringing to the table. You got to step up to the plate. You got to be the man that you were born to be, because you are great. You are the original man. So you must have this in mind. You must have this mindset. But I just want to remind our sisters that they face, on a daily basis, they face opposition. They face people afraid of them based upon the color of their skin. They face people, judging them based upon what a few of us do. So the last thing he needs is to come home to you and you continue to break him down. It's your job as his queen to build him back up and reassure him and support him and let him know that you are needed. Our society that we live in today has made it so that they will promote and they will uplift a black woman before they will a black man, because the black man is their biggest fear. But the black man is and when I say our, I mean black women, he's our biggest commodity. Because believe me when I tell you, you cannot have a black race without that black man.
Oh, yeah. And, whether I want to or not, I did realize that I had to deal with, once again, I call them the male species. I do keep in mind when dating or trying to, keep up with a relationship or fall in love, whatever it may be, mating, whatever, I have to remember that we are all human beings. With saying that, it doesn't mean give someone a million chances to, they're human or they make mistakes, but you want to be on a level of growth. And if you see something happening over and over and over again, then growth is stunted. And then that's when you know that is not your partner. You don't want to spend too much time with someone. When it comes down to respecting our men, I do, and we should have a level of expectation for them when it comes down to how they impact our lives, because when they meet you, they think the same thing. Man, what can this woman contribute? What is she about? Where does she be? Who is she with? So we want to keep that in mind when it comes down to self-love. How is this going to better you? And then with compatibility as well. Are they compatible? When you see that they are not, or you see that you are not compatible with his lifestyle, it's time to move forward too. It is. And that comes back to self-love. You got to do what's best for you. Self-love, that's one level of self-love. It is.
Yes, I agree totally with my co-host, and I realize that all of us are not born into a perfect situation. Some of us are born into a situation where we have to go through the foster system and, we have to bounce from house to house, and we may not have ever been shown love. So it becomes a challenge for us to then understand what truly love is. So what we want to try to do is we want to try to speak to those of you who maybe have not ever been told, hey, I love you. We want to let you know that when you look in the mirror, tell yourself, I am special, I am beautiful, I am somebody. This is what I raised my daughters with. I have 2 daughters, and I raised my daughter every day, my daughters, and I told them every single day, you are smart, you are beautiful, and you are special. Sometimes you got to love yourself, and you have to promote yourself so that you don't feel so alone in this world. It's a challenge. I'm not going to say it's not. It's hard because everybody wants to be told that at one point or another. But hey, we aren't born into a perfect world. So you got to deal with the cards that you dealt, right? So that's the purpose of our first episode here, is to promote self-love for our black sisters. Every time you look in that mirror, and love what you see staring back at you. Don't think about what society says. Don't think about what the people say. Look at that person and say, you know what? God made me, and he don't make no mistakes, so I must be perfect. I am a masterpiece in and of itself. That's a hard thing to do, but it's not impossible. Self-love is the key. Once you learn how to love yourself, then it will be a breeze loving somebody else. You might even find yourself in a situation where you got to teach a man how to love. Some men have never been shown love, but if you love yourself and you got this guy in your life, and this is somebody who you feel like you can build with and grow with and build that empire, that's somebody you're going to have to take, and you're going to have to treat him with kid gloves. So you're going to have to teach him how to love himself. This show is all about promoting positive, respectful, and honorable relationships in our community. Now, I want to make it clear, I'm not excluding any other racial group, but I'm talking to my people because I'm speaking as a black woman for other black women. Sometimes we don't have anybody to speak up for us. So I felt like a dialect needed to be started for us by us. We not reality stars, none of that. We ain't worried about what Kim and Kanye doing. Them people got theirs. We talking about everyday people. So the same problems that you encounter, I've encountered, or my co-host has encountered. So who better to relate to you than us?
So I want to go back to self-love and, how I think that you need to become cocky. Relationships and the desire for love can leave you at a place where you just don't know what to do if you're not successful in it. And when I say become cocky, you can take a compliment, but I remember I was at the point where if a man gave me a compliment, it meant everything to me. Like, oh, your hair is nice. As if I didn't know that when I spent an hour on it in the mirror, or when I spent 8 hours at the shop. So with that being said, I have built a confidence that helps me when it comes down to choosing whom I'm gonna, surround myself with. Also dealing, when it comes down to the black community, male and female, there are a lot of females, young, old, middle-aged, college, whatever it is, college graduates, high school graduates that are dealing with things with males that may even cause them to commit suicide or whatever it is. You have to remember this is your life. That's something that I struggle with, and I am now better at it because every day you wake up, it's another opportunity to build, grow, or do something else with your life, like perfect the day before. You don't have to stay stuck in that. When it comes down to self-worth, if you don't have that, you will take a lot of, I guess I'll say BS off of someone, and then maybe even male and female. We can't forget about, the others, right, in that aspect. But yeah, self-worth can be anything from remembering that you know how to run, you're a track star, that you know how to read, write, like tap into some of your talents, and that will put you back into a place where you're thinking of self versus chasing a relationship.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. You know, you don't need anyone to validate you. You're valid in the fact that you're here. And we as black women are the strongest women on the planet. But let us not forget, we are not. Don't get it twisted. I don't care what society may want you to think. Don't get it twisted. We're not stronger than men. We ain't built like them. We're not made in God's image. According to Christianity, he took one of man's ribs to make us. So we can't forget from where we came, and we can't get so ahead of ourselves until we disrespecting our black men. That's not what they need of us as women. What they need of us as women is upliftment, encouragement, and support. Now, black men, I'm not letting you off the hook by any means. I want you to bring to the table everything I'm telling my sisters to bring to the table. I'm just speaking from the perspective of a woman because I am a woman. Now, men probably will have a different perspective from me. You know, I'll have some naysayers that say, oh, no, she don't know what she's talking about, because they want to take the easy way out. But if I'm coming to the table as a man, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, guess what? I want a female who doing everything she's supposed to do. And men, you got to step up and you got to do just that. If you got somebody that's in your corner, you got to recognize and realize that. You know how they say on the street, real recognize real? We being 100 right now. So don't get it twisted. If you got a good woman in your corner, recognize that. Be true to that woman. It ain't what you do, it's how you do it. Show her respect. Show her that she's important to you and show her that she's appreciated. I guarantee you, your life will be so much easier. Because you keep your woman happy, guess what? She gonna keep you happy.
Yeah, you know, when it comes to keeping a male happy, I had a thought that made me giggle. But first, you know, what I did have to remember and what I had to take a step back because I didn't have the patience to do is uplift the male, you know, in the relationship in hopes that he would do the same for me. And in the event I've done this and you see that he is not progressing or reciprocating that same love to you, it may be time to, you don't necessarily have to leave, but you do have to withdraw, which is another point where you realize, you feel self-love. Okay, I'm cooking for him every day, but he's not eating it, or he's not buying groceries, and you're giving all you can to feed him, feed mom on Sunday, whatever it may be. That's when you have to withdraw certain things so that you guys don't fail. But definitely he sees that he's not doing his part, or maybe he is. Whatever it is, you have to always evaluate within a certain amount of time. Also, I do, as I said before, I want to uplift each other as individuals. Like, you take your path, he takes his, and then you meet in the middle and you uplift each other as a team. When it came down, you mentioned something about respecting men. That's another issue that I dealt with. We don't know how to talk to each other. And also, something that a topic that we'll be reaching in the future is all the fights that can come with relationships. And us as black people, we're beautiful. We are. But some of us love drama. We love to yell. We like to fight. I like to yell. So we want to stop doing that when it comes down. You're talking about a man. You know, I've heard women say, oh, I knocked him out. Or you're talking about a man, a lion, a beast. And you're trying to yell at him. What do you expect to happen? And that'll take things to a level of domestic violence, all type of things that we want to avoid. So, yeah, it is definitely big that we show respect on both ends. Yep, self-love.
Absolutely. To expound on that just a little bit, definitely she hit on something that is very important. Learning when to let go. If a situation is not good for you, if a relationship is not good for you. Now, we are not forgetting, we love ourselves first. You love yourself enough to know when it's time to let go. Love yourself enough to know that when it starts hurting, it's time to let it go. Love don't hurt. I don't care what the people say. Love don't hurt. It's supposed to be something that fills your heart with joy. That's supposed to be something that you look forward to seeing at the end of your day at work. That's supposed to be something that you can think about when the boss getting on your nerves at work and you hate everybody at the job. You're supposed to be able to envision that love you got in your life. It's supposed to just put a smile on your face and be like, none of that even matters.
Right.
But when it gets to the point where it's not good for you anymore, it's time to let go. Don't ever give yourself up in the name of loving somebody else, because if they gonna hurt you, they not worth keeping. Love don't hurt. If a man truly loves you and wants to be with you, he gonna make your life better. He gonna make y'all life better. At the end of the day, he the head. You supposed to follow him. He's supposed to be the one guiding you. He's supposed to be the one protecting you and providing for you. We are a team, true enough, but at the end of the day, that's his duties. Written in the word, not ours, if you believe in the word. But my point is, love yourself enough to know when it's time to let go.
So I went through a lot, and what I cannot stand in the black female community, we tell ourselves if we deal with something over and over again that we love him. If we keep taking him back, we love him. And so one thing I did tell myself is love does not require punishment. And if you remember that, then you probably won't put up with anything. If you're doing something, you should expect it to come back. Like if you're coming in late, he's probably going to mimic you. You know, if you're keeping money to yourself, he's probably going to do the same thing, unless you're doing it to better the relationship, and then eventually you have to tell him. But when it comes down to love hurting, anything that makes you cry is not a good thing. But we tell ourselves, oh, when you cry, oh, that's a relief. Like, no, you're crying every day. No, that could cause a stroke. Okay. So I definitely, I'm going to keep touching on self-love. If I have to argue with you, fight any of that, I'll be moving forward. Now, I know moving forward is hard. Like, so when it comes to self-love, what is it that we can do to move forward, or like to make it easier to move forward? As I said earlier, tap into some hobbies, something like that. I'm not saying that leaving someone that isn't on your level or someone that's bringing you strife is easy, but it is very possible. It could even be working on your revenge. Don't they call it a revenge body? You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But walking away, letting it go. Is that the?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All that comes under the umbrella of loving self first. I'm just a firm believer, based upon my life and my experiences, that you can't properly love anyone else if you don't love yourself. If I'm not happy with me, how am I going to be able to make anyone else happy? I just don't think it's possible, because I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm going in the door at a disadvantage. So I just want to say to my black sisters that we are here at Woman to Woman to address the issues that we have every day, trying to have a positive, healthy, productive relationship with our black brothers. Because black brothers are beautiful. They are beautiful. They're intelligent. They're fabulous. Nobody can touch them. That's why they are America's most wanted, because they're America's most feared. And we have to realize the kings that we have in our grasp, and we have to know how to, treat them. We got to know how to interact with them so that we can be successful as a community. You know, our communities are suffering. We have a lot of single mothers trying to raise little boys. These little boys don't see no men in the house. How they know how to be a man? How they know how to be a father to anybody? So we need to stop this cycle. That's the whole purpose of our show. We're trying to enlighten our women and our people in general so that we can have healthy, happy communities like everyone else. You know, and again, let me say, I'm not trying to exclude anybody else. You can tune in, feel free. You might learn something too. Hopefully you do. But nobody can live in our skin. Nobody can relate to us but us. You don't know what a day in the life of being a black person is. So the last thing we need is to be on a one-on-one relationship where we trying to build and grow together and we need to be at odds. That's not what we need to do. So ladies, we're going to start with this self-love. We're going to start. We ain't got to go join no gym. I know everybody ain't got money for that.
No.
We can work out in the house.
Dance. Get back to your confidence. Like, play in the mirror.
Any of that. Energy. Just burn energy. Get on that floor and do some sit-ups. But dancing is that's a very good valid point.
Get back to your sexy.
Absolutely.
Twerk in the mirror. You don't always have to
All
twerk in front of someone and get to know your body.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't need to go somewhere, for anybody to get you in shape. Mm-hmm. You can burn them calories right in the confidence of your own home, in the privacy of your own home. Put on your favorite song and get it in. You burning calories.
Right.
You getting your body like you want it to be. Learn how to wear foundation, aka girdles, aka
please wear girdles,
aka fajas, all of that
to hide your fupa.
Yes.
Okay.
Learn how to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Keep it tight, as they say. Keep it tight.
I had when you spoke on you were mentioning single mothers and all this type of things like that, families and things like that. Self-love. I will share a very personal detail. I posted on Facebook the other day where I was asking, people's opinions about abortion. That's been a big thing that's been in the news lately, where they're trying to ban it. When it comes down to single mothers and trying to find someone to support a child from another or whatever it may be, when you're merging, even when a male was bringing in a kid, a single father, he's a single father, you're a single mom, whatever it may be. What we want to do in the future when it comes to self-love is we want to begin to protect ourselves in some type of way that this isn't even a scenario that you have to present to your new lover or your new friend or whoever that may be that you want to build and grow with. We got to start, if we're not tapping into birth control, we need to become celibate, whatever it may be, protect yourself. The pull-out game, that's dead. And when I say personally, I understand that, I've experienced that, that's dead. We need to start loving ourselves more, to evaluate who we decide to have a lifelong situation with. A child is a lifelong situation. So self-love, please wear the glove. It's okay. It feels all right. It works. We gotta start doing something. And also, we forget the very high epidemic of STDs out here in the black community. We will drop it like it's hot when anybody, anywhere. And I'm not saying me, but we know that from young and old. And we need to start, instead of when we talk about things like when me and my sister here, when we talk about real things. We don't sit up here and fabricate situations for each other. If I call her and I say, I did something stupid, she's gonna snap. She's gonna check me first, and then we're gonna talk about the male part and his participation in the situation and how we both should have chosen a more mature decision. So I think those are things that we really, really need to remember when it comes down to self-love, protecting yourself, protecting your mental, your emotional, and your physical, everything of you.
Absolutely. I agree 150%. Some things out here today, they are lifelong diseases that you cannot rid yourself of. Don't do that to yourself. Love yourself more than that. And if a guy you're with, if he respects you the way he should, he will insist upon it. If a guy tell you, "Oh, you don't love me because you won't
they
do
get
it,"
mad, don't they? When you know, a female will get mad though. Or like either one, like you, both of y'all need to like, yes,
love yourself enough to protect yourself. Love yourself first. That's our whole point in this episode today. Love the skin that you are in. When you look in that mirror at that lady, take it from me. Tell that lady, you are smart, you are beautiful, you are special. You don't need anybody else to tell you that. Tell yourself every day, all day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one thing. When I said be cocky earlier, I basically I would look in the mirror and try to see something that a guy complimented me on before versus seeing what I actually work hard to display. I'm the type, if I work hard, I should look good, whatever that may be. Or if you work hard, you should have a work look, and then you have the cleanup. And when it comes down to that self-confidence, self-love, right, looking in the mirror, even with your earrings off, weave in, weave out, whatever it may be, stretch mark, scar, self-confidence, that is who you are. And then we have things out here that you can you can better yourself. You don't always have to stay into that whatever he tells you are. Or you're fat, or you're bald head, or you're black, you're this, you're that, you stink, whatever it is. Okay, I'm all of that. Take it in, push it out, and then fix it. So self-love, I have to keep touching on that.
Absolutely. That's the most important issue of the day, is loving yourself first. Love who you are. You were born special. You were not born a twin or a triplet. Maybe some of you were, but most of us weren't. But at the end of the day, don't let another individual look at you and judge you. I want you to be comfortable with who you are as a woman. You are the most beautiful creature on the planet. Everyone else tries to mimic you. We are the only ones who don't realize our own self-worth and our own self-beauty. If you just take a minute to stop and think about celebrities and stars and stuff, they always in a tanning salon. They love our complexions. They love our men. Look at all our guys, our famous guys. Who got most of them? Other folks. That's because they love us. They love what we look like, how we act. They want to be with us. So you got to think about that. Hey, if everybody else want to be like me, I must be something special.
Right.
Realize that for yourself. You don't need anybody else to tell you that. You should see that when you look in that mirror. I love all of my people. I know that my people, we are better than what they say we are. And we're not going to let anybody discourage us. We as black women, we are going to uplift, we're going to encourage, and we're going to love our black men so that they know that they are the kings they were born to be. And perhaps, just perhaps, and I'm counting on you black men, they'll start acting that way. But it starts with us. We got to stop accepting anything. When I love myself, I'm not accepting anything. I'm just not going.
Nope.
And that's what you got to do. When a guy come to the table and he trying to just give you anything, don't go in the name of not being alone. It's okay to be alone. Nothing wrong with being alone.
Yeah.
A lot of us are afraid to be alone. A lot of us don't want to be classified as single. There's nothing wrong with being single. Be single because you're waiting for what's right for you. You're waiting for what will make your life better. But don't settle for anything. Then that means that you're demeaning your self-worth. And that's not what we want to do, black women. We're queens. A queen don't settle for anything.
Yeah, you do not want to lose yourself. And maybe, I don't know if you're listening today or whatever, if you lose yourself, you might have to go as far as losing everything. I've lost things from maybe vehicles, apartments, whatever it may be. You might have been on top, and then you meet somebody and you put the physical part of love, the emotional part of love before your mental health, and that's when you forget where you were heading in life. And a relationship can help you grow, or it can bring you down. And so what you want to remember is, when trying to date, build, uplift a black man, which they are wonderful, and our race, we are wonderful. We are, pioneers or whatever. We have initiated a lot of different trends, I'll say, where someone's like, well, I want to be like a black person or whatever it may be, but we do put each other down, we do bring each other down, and then we go and date the next race. And that's something, whatever happens to you, an outcome of your relationship, be able to get back to you. So for instance, I have been in relationships where I started out with a job, then I started dating someone, then all of a sudden, or I don't even know if it's that I was dating, but I started liking someone, wanting to combine my life with someone else's, and then all of a sudden I'm calling off work. So I lost my job. Like, with self-worth or paying attention to yourself, not being lost in something, you have to notice when you're changing for fun, when you're changing for something fast, and we know what fast is. I'm kissing, I'm hugging, I'm riding around, I'm partying with him. We're taking selfies, blah blah, all the things that don't matter, that don't help you in life. So yeah, do not get lost in love.
And somebody else.
Somebody, right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Always keep yourself first. And for those of you who are single mothers, you must love those children first. I know women who put a man that they have just met, they just started dating, before their children. Those are your children. That's flesh of your flesh, blood of your blood. That's supposed to come first, every day, all day. No respectable, good man is going to even allow you to do that. I have known females that will feed him first and have the baby sitting there waiting. Now me, I'm going to feed mine first.
Yeah, what?
Brother man going to have to wait. But them babies go get their food first.
Yeah, they going to be the only ones eat.
If he's a good man, if he's what they call a keeper, if he's worth being in your life, he'll totally understand that, and he'll respect you for it. What we sometimes fail to realize as women is that when we don't respect ourselves, the man ain't going to respect us either. When we fail to demand that respect, we're not going to get it. But when you come in the door, straight in the door, out the gate, demanding that respect, guess what? It's on deck, and he going to give it to you every trip.
Or run away. Either one. It ain't going to take long to figure out what's up with this guy.
And if he run away, he wasn't the one. Let him go.
Yeah.
You glad to see him going, okay, he wasn't worth having. Don't waste your time. Life moves very swiftly. Moves fast. It's not promised to anyone, especially in our communities, from day to day.
Yeah, that's very true. So something that I guess what also have you lose self-love for self is dealing with emotional pain. And one thing, when she said life moves fast, I always ask myself, if I were to die tomorrow, would I be comfortable with what I spent my last day doing? So if you spent your last day chasing the car window out, screaming, yelling, or whatever, worrying about things that didn't concern you and maybe your children, if you have children, that's an issue, and that's something that you need to think about every day, because a lot of this also ends in depression, I'll say. When you don't have self-love for self and you're chasing something that's not chasing you, or something that has to be chased, other than a job or, a dream, because those are two things that are important. But you definitely need to evaluate how you're spending your day, your 24 hours that God has blessed you with, and that'll help you, continue to tap into, self. It'll keep you focused, through all of this, the good, the bad, the uplifting, the beautiful, whatever, everything that makes us humans and makes us companions. Think about what you're doing. Stay focused.
Absolutely, ladies. I hope that what we are bringing you today is hitting home. I hope these are some issues and some points that you can relate to. I know personally how it feels to be lonely. However, I have been able to myself from a very young age enough to be comfortable with the company of me. And there's absolutely positively nothing wrong with that. This society that we live in will have you thinking that, oh, it must be something wrong with her. She ain't with nobody. She ain't in a relationship. She ain't got no man. No. There's nothing wrong with you.
Definitely not the case.
That's not the case.
Yeah.
So I want to get that thought out your head. If you doing your thing, if you moving forward, you making progress, you just living life, working on you, you preparing yourself for when your king does arrive.
Yeah, I can speak on that. Seeing as though I was one of those types, I stayed in a very unhealthy relationship because I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to spend Christmas alone. Oh, I need his mom to make me a plate. All that. I need him to carry these laundry bags, whatever it may be. A lot of people see me, even when I am at the laundromat, you need help with them bags? No. Because I need to see if I can lift the 50-pound bag or whatever it may be. I want to stay self-motivated at all times. So, yeah, do not assume that a single black woman is, she has a problem because she's single. Maybe she's trying to help you. Maybe she, like me, I tend to be a bit extreme when you tamper with my emotions. So maybe I'm single because I don't want to attack you. You know, whatever it may be, allow someone to, be to themselves if that's what they want to do. Allow them to grow within themselves if that's what they want to do. And don't assume that they're not still human, or they're not a good person, or they're insane.
Or something's wrong with them.
No, they just need a moment. And sometimes we all need to take a moment. Even if you're going to stay in a relationship, stop going to the gym together all the time. Stop going everywhere together. Before work, after work. Like, those are other things you could do to keep your relationship healthy, because I'm not against them. I still love and want to be with, our black men. So, yeah, I'm not against it, but, yeah, definitely space.
I'm definitely a firm believer in giving them a chance to miss me.
Yeah, please. Okay, so you want me back,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If I'm smothering him all the time, if I'm constantly blowing his phone up, where you at? What you doing? Why you ain't called me? I'm not giving him a chance to think about me. I'm annoying him.
Right.
You don't want to annoy him away.
Right. Oh, he at the shop with you now later on when y'all arguing. Oh, she glued that hair on your head. Woo, woo. No, he doesn't. Go by yourself. Get some time to yourself. Men, get time to yourself if you're going to keep continuing. If you're going to have a healthy relationship, So,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We are individuals first.
Self.
Then we come together and we're a couple.
Yeah.
But I got to be in tune with me before I can be in tune with you.
Yeah.
I hope that what we're saying today is making sense to you out there, our, listeners. We are definitely for the black couple. Mm-hmm. We want, us to be successful as a people. I see, all different racial groups, and they prosper and they build and they grow together. But, when it comes to us, I constantly, when I'm riding down the street, I see a black mama. She on that bus stop by herself. She got 3-4 babies. There's no man to be found. Yeah. She doing the best she can. Men, step up to the plate. Be who you need to be.
Okay.
And we gonna do better. We here to help our sisters do better.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I will share a small fact about me. I don't have any children, and I am still considerate of all those women who have children who were brave enough to, with or without the man, still raise a family. But myself personally, as she said, men need to step up to the plate. I don't have any children because I refuse to raise them alone. Didn't do it alone. I'm not gonna do that alone. And my heart does go out to single mothers, but we gotta do better. Single mothers, single fathers, or everybody. We gotta do better when it comes down to the multiplication of our people, having kids or whatever. But when you do, one thing I will say to the black men and single black men, if you're not raising a family, one thing I do with myself is I give myself to children in need, elderly people in need. Start reaching out. When you see that lady on the bus stop that has those children, whatever it may be, help her with those bags. Let her know that you're not a bad guy. I'm not looking to rob you. I just want to help you. Like, we got to definitely, then you might meet your mate. You know, some female might fall for you. You might fall for some female. It's a lot of different ways to, build companionship. But definitely we need to be there for each other as a people, dating or not.
Absolutely. We need to do that one thing, love one another. Mm-hmm. That is one of the new commandments. I remember that from the Bible.
Yep.
You know, I remember when it was redone, the Bible was redone, and they said the 10 was too many for us to remember. And Jesus gave us one.
Yeah, having a hard time keeping up with them.
Just love one another.
Yeah.
Love one another. Yeah. That's all we got to do. Mm-hmm. We are beautiful. We are marvelous. Yeah. We are special. So again, I want to...
In conclusion,
I just want to thank you again for listening to our podcast. I hope that you find, our comments and our recommendations to be helpful to you. We are not here to judge you. We want you to know that we're just like you. We're everyday people. I am a mother of 3 beautiful children, and I am an ex-wife. So, there's not anything that I'm telling you that I haven't experienced for myself. And I want my sisters in their 40s and 50s to know game is not over for you. However, I do know of a situation with someone that I know in their 40s, their late 40s. We have to know as women when we do have a good black man. I know of someone, she's 48 years old, had a great, great, great black man. This was a provider, protector. This man did everything that you could think you wanted a man to do. Paid all the bills. All she was required to do was pay her car note and her insurance. He paid not only his credit card bills, but hers too. Paid the mortgage, all the utilities. You gotta know when you got a keeper.
Yeah.
When you get up in age, you around 48, you got a few extra pounds hanging off your side. You ain't like at the top of the list.
Right.
You ain't gonna get that deal.
You cougar status.
Yeah, but you ain't gonna get that deal.
Right.
So you gotta recognize, you gotta learn how to outweigh, your pros and your cons. Look at, how does this person make my life better? Does he, does good outweigh the bad? We got to know how to recognize that. And that goes back to me telling you, if it hurts, that's not good. Love don't hurt.
I speak for the women in their 20s and 30s. In conclusion, for me, for today, we will be back, and we will be speaking on more topics and issues, and when it comes down to black relationships. But for me, today I will leave you with staying focused. Self-love on all aspects. Respect yourself before you try to respect someone else. Love all. Take care of them kids. Okay? Self-love.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I want you to know that if you have any particular comments or questions or any issues that you want us to, talk about on our show, please feel free, to leave us a quick note, subscribe to our channel, to our show. We will be back on a weekly basis. Every week we will have a different topic for you, and we will hopefully be able to help you in your day-to-day quest to have a healthy, happy, and positive relationship with a black man. It's not impossible. It's completely doable. Completely doable. So we want you to know that this is Woman to Woman. I'm your host, Val Devereaux. My co-host,
Shall Be True.
Absolutely. And we are always here for you.